Hi everyone, it has been a minute since we were last here on this channel. I am by myself today. This is a long overdue video. At some point I posted that there's been a lot of things going on. This video is basically to tell you guys what's been going on. It's just to share what has been happening, to give you guys a bit of transparency, because I think at least I owe you that much. So yeah, I have a book with a bunch of notes here. Also, it's a really cute book. But anyway, yeah, I have a bunch of notes so that I don't get lost. And I have my teddy bear. He's called Snow. I've had him since I was probably a year old, 2 years old. So yeah, I just have him here for emotional support. Let's get into it. You're welcome to give your reactions, your comments in the comment section. For those who might be new to this channel, I am Cikū. I am from Kenya and I just love sharing about my life. So welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe. I am a student currently. I am studying communication and I am also part of our university choir. So this semester, the choir decided that we were going to go on a mission trip and that they were going to go to Vietnam. And honestly, I was very excited. I'm one of the choir officers. I am the treasurer. So obviously there's a lot of work for all the choir officers. We're 10 officers. So we had to make sure that at that time, 42 of us managed to get flight tickets, visas. Well, yeah, I'll get into that. Visas, re-entry visas, funds, everything, uniform. We had to make sure that all that was sorted for everyone to go. The trip was scheduled for April 5. Some left on the 5th, some left April 6th to April 17th. Since the beginning of March, I'd say, is when it hit, but I'll say probably mid-February to literally a few weeks ago, it was hectic. We were running up and down, getting phone calls all the time from our director. Hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? It was crazy. And so there was no time to actually just relax, take it in. Honestly, I got really horrible on social media, on communication. I would find a text, somebody texts me today, I'd answer them 2 weeks later. It was just really hectic. The only time we had to rest was Friday night to Saturday night, and even then you're still exhausted because the same people who are in choir, the same people who are working on church programs, they're everyone's involved, so there was really no time to rest. Other things we're busy with, we had a fundraising concert on Friday, March 24, and that was yet another program we had to plan for, and it was hectic. It was really hectic. That was 2 weeks to the travel dates, and it was when we were planning it, when we thought about it, we're are we crazy? Are we actually gonna do this? And it was yeah, let's do this. So we planned for a fundraising concert. It went really great. I will link some of the videos and our choir's social media in the description below, so you can see some of our videos, some of the things that we did. We had a lot of fun. I mean, it was stressful, but we had a lot of fun. We had some slight, almost mental breakdowns, but we made it. When now things started getting hectic is this. I'll give a backstory. So to enter into Vietnam, because obviously my friends and I are not from Asia, we need visas, and so apparently to get those visas you need to get approval from the immigration department of Vietnam. It's how they do their thing. So we had 11 students, so from Africa and some from China. Yeah, so we had the Africans, the Chinese students, and one Indian student who needed the visas to enter into Vietnam. Yeah, that you could tell my brain was lagging a little bit. We needed visas, and unfortunately, by the time it was hitting close to the end of March, the approval letter had not arrived. And it was getting a bit tense because we're like, okay, so if they don't give us the approval letter, we're not gonna go, we're not gonna be allowed to go in. We're contacting the people in Vietnam every day, hey, can we get the approval letter so these guys go to the embassy and get this work done, stuff like that. No response, and it was starting to get stressful, like really stressful. I remember we were just thinking, you know, during that time, yeah, when we're planning this, all of us were just like, yeah, we're gonna go, it's gonna work out, and stuff like that. So on March 28th, it was a Tuesday, I remember that, 12 of us decided go to the embassy by faith. Hopefully when you guys go and these people from Vietnam know that you've gone, maybe it will speed up the process and you'll get the approval letter. And yeah, so we went 5 a.m. It was the first time I've been late to a thing I am in charge of, like, you know, because I was planning and helping people make sure that the trip goes well and that everything goes there. I was late. We're supposed to leave at 5 a.m. I woke up at 5. So anyway, that was just a side story. I just remember because I was the last one there. But anyway, so we went, and yeah, we did not have the approval letter, obviously, and we're gonna go to the embassy either way, just hoping that a miracle happens, you know, because we needed to give them time to also process the visas, because it could take days and we didn't want to use up those days. So we went, we reached, and the first thing the lady at the counter told us, she was like, if you don't have an approval letter, your application's not gonna go through. What to do? There's 12 of us in the embassy. It's actually a really small embassy compared to all the others I've seen, at least. Meanwhile, I'm getting phone calls left, right, and center. Hey, have you done this? Have you done that? I'm like, no, this is not working. We've been told we have to have the approval letter and stuff like that. What are those guys saying? It was hectic. We were the first people at the embassy, and we were the last ones out, having not submitted an application letter. So, you know, by that time I was done. Truth be told, I was really done. I was just like, okay, so clearly we're not gonna get this thing done today. There's no other day to go. But they told us, hey, by the way, if you guys get the letter, only one of you can come back and submit everyone's documents. So we're like, okay, that's a silver lining to it. At least not all of us have to come back again. So we went, we ate. I was so done. I was so low. I remember it was horrible. It was truly horrible. I'm smiling right now, but I'm just like, no, that was really hard and horrible. So after that, we went back to campus, and obviously we're feeling a bit let down, and the choir officers are like, hey guys, we need to actually properly pray about this, you know, this is actually getting serious and stuff like that. So everyone's like on edge, you know. But then for some reason no one felt any sort of sense of despair at that moment. I know I didn't, but that's probably because I didn't register any emotions since the end of February. Like, everything was just going, I was just going with emotions, so I didn't really have time to think about it. We went back, we prayed about it, the whole choir prayed about it, we prayed about it as choir officers, you know. Eventually April 4 arrived. That was a Tuesday. Some people were leaving April 5. We were supposed to leave April 6. And I remember in the officer group chat, our choir director texted like, hey, we need to have an emergency meeting. We need to decide what's going on with these visas. So up till then, 2 days before our flight, we haven't gotten our visas yet. We haven't even gotten the letter yet. So we're like, okay, cool, we'll go. So at around 10:30, we went to his office, and his wife was there helping out with everything and stuff like that. And she was like, so guys, these visa people have not answered, and it's looking like we need to decide whether we're pushing through with the visa applications or whether we will not, and that means that 11 of us and one faculty are not going. And that's when it sunk in for me that I might not actually go to Vietnam. After all this planning, after being part of the group where we even helped the choir get choir jackets, like we did such, in my mind, such big things. But it was that day that it hit me. I was like, you might actually not go to Vietnam, by the way. All that work ends here. And it hit hard. It really hit hard. If you read the blog, I've told you about how we reacted on that day. And so we talked about it. We're like, what's going on? And she told us everything. Basically, there's a possibility that even if we get the government letter by a certain date, they won't be able to go because the visa processing time would not give them enough time to actually travel, have a meaningful trip, and come back. We all just started crying. Two of us are choir officers. Oh, y'all know Muzo and I are choir officers, and we were, out of all the officers, we're the only two that didn't go. And it was a hard pill to swallow. A really, really, really hard pill to swallow. We knelt down at some point. Our choir president, a friend of ours, he was just like, no guys, we need to actually properly pray about this, because there's like literally nothing more we can do in our own human strength. So we prayed about it and prayed about it. We knelt down. I don't even know if the choir members know that part of the story, but yeah, we did. We knelt down in the office and we were just praying and crying, and yeah, I'm trying not to cry right now. I don't think I will, but remembering it is not necessarily the easiest thing. But yeah, we really prayed about it. We were in there for almost 2 hours, just crying, praying, hoping that something could happen, because they needed an answer as soon as possible. And so after that meeting, when we were done, we're like, okay, we need to call the other 10, 12 people anyway, and tell them what's going on so they can make a decision on whether they're pushing through with it or not. So at 12:30, all the people who needed visas went to the office. We told them what happened, and you could see like the heartbreak in their eyes. Like, it was so hard to look at. And people are asking like really logical questions, like, if we push through, are we gonna be charged more? Like, no. If we push through, when's the earliest we'll get our visas? When's the latest? Is it confirmed? Such questions. Eventually they're like, no, you guys need to decide on whether you're going or not. And so by the time one hit, because some people had class and stuff, we hadn't reached a solid conclusion yet. So people went about their day. You're going to class, but your heart is so heavy. At least that was for me. My heart was so heavy. I remember texting my friends. I'm like, guys, are we actually gonna push through with this, or are we just saying no, we're not going anymore? And you could tell people are like, I don't know. So we were given the latest information, and it was like, no, you'll get your approval letter on this date, and that means that your visas would come only on the last Friday of the trip, because they were going for 2 weekends. And I remember we all looked at it on the group chat, and so a poll was done, and they're like, should we push through with the visa or not? And everyone is just like, no, we're not pushing through. It's not gonna be meaningful if we go only for one Friday and that's it, so we didn't push through with the visas. So that meant that at that moment 11 of us would not go, and that was hard. That was really hard, really rough. And I remember after class I had an event that I was planning also. It's called Poetry Evening, and I was the coordinator in charge. I was feeling so sad. My mom was like, should I call you? And I'm like, no, I cannot talk to you right now because I will cry, and I cannot have red eyes and a dejected spirit more than I have right now. So I was just like, no, I'll talk to you later. And even that was a maybe. I came to my room, I took a shower, I dressed up for poetry evening, put a smile on my face, and went and attended the whole program. Made sure everything went according to plan. And there's a picture that I will put right here to show you what I was like at the poetry evening. And I look at it and I'm like, I cannot believe that was the same day, because it's like, yeah, I looked so happy, but at the back of my head I was just like, today is a heavy day. After poetry evening, we had choir practice with the whole group, and we had decided we're gonna tell them of the decision to not push through with our visas. And wow, it was so hard hearing that we weren't going. You know, it was really hard. Even if we had already made that decision, it was so hard to see people like, oh, they're actually not going, like now it's actually confirmed. And so after that, of course, people started giving speeches and stuff like that, and the people who were leaving gave them a speech like, hey, you're going for mission work is hard. And I guess this was one of our battles to fight, I'm sure. But she told them, you know, you have to go and represent. You have to represent as well. Remember that this is for God, it's not for us. And so whatever you do, just make sure you do it well, and just give your best, and just do it for God, even if, you know, we're not there. And so that was it. And that was the first time choir has had practice and we were not there. The director was like, you know, you guys are free to go or to stay and watch us. And I remember being like, oh, yeah, I'm not part of this group anymore, so I guess it's time to go, you know. And it was so weird and bizarre. And I remember when we were walking out, a lot of our friends came out, you know, just to say bye and stuff like that, and they were crying. It was like the whole day, I don't think I've cried as much as I did on April 4th. So eventually they went back, and we were walking past the building, and they started singing, and I was just like, wow, that's what that feels like. Like, that's it. We're done for the next 2 weeks. When they go, we're here, you know. And yeah, it was not easy. We chilled with each other outside, making jokes, laughing about it, but you know, I don't know how other people felt, which is why I'm doing this one by myself, this video by myself, because it's just like personal experience, just to share how I felt about it. And you know, I was like, okay, I'm here laughing about it, but in my heart was literally like, just like breaking slowly, you know. I knew for sure I was probably gonna cry if I called my mom, so I don't think I did. I didn't call my mom. And a friend of mine was like, hey, can I come sleep over in your room? And I'm like, yes, please. She's like, we can have Disney marathons. If you follow me on Instagram, you know, we had Disney marathons almost the entire holiday. So yeah, she was like, we can have Disney marathons and just be sad and whatnot. So I was like, hey, you're welcome to come to my room. So she came to my room that day and was literally there for the rest of the 2 weeks, except 2 nights, I think, where we had class. But for the rest of the nights, she was there. We watched so many movies. Oh, and this leads me to how we coped with it, by the way. Looking back in hindsight, I don't think our coping methods were healthy, but we didn't realize it then. Well, I didn't realize it then. My friend came, we bought snacks, we sat on the beds, and we watched Disney movies. We had a Disney marathon. We watched so many movies. We watched, I think, a bit of one of the Disney Channel shows. That's all we did for the whole holiday. Like, we were so, it was like so depressing. You didn't want to think about anything. You didn't want to talk to anybody. And yeah, I remember going to class. Going to class, and a lecturer sees you and they're like, "You're here," and I'm like, "Yes, ma'am, I'm here." You know, like, can we not talk about it? And so you meet those of, why are you still here? And I'm like, no, we didn't go. And you know, those questions, they really hit hard. You know, when somebody's asking you, why are you still here? And you're like, it's not like I wanted to be here, but unfortunately that's not under my control anymore. I couldn't control whether or not I go. So yeah, it was hard trying to field off those questions and try to be respectful at the same time. On the Friday after everyone left, my friends and I went thrifting. For those of you who love thrifting, you know how much of a temptation it can be, especially when you find cute finds. Like, it is so easy to go down that path. I got this top, actually. You can't really see the detail on it. So, I got this top. When we went thrifting after, well, I call it the day it all happened. Dramatic, I know, but yes. So, I got this the day we went. And we bought so many things. Like, it was not even funny. I got bags. And I was just like, who are you? You don't even usually wear bags. Although I do wear them, by the way. But you don't normally wear bags. But why are you buying bags and all that? Anyway, we had that whole indulging series and all that. It was not right. The day they were coming back, I remember in my head, I was just like, I don't want to see these people. Not because I hate them, not because I don't like them, not for anything they've done, but because I knew I hadn't sorted that out properly. So I was just like, seeing them is gonna make me feel so bad. And I was expecting, you know, all the stories of Vietnam and how people enjoyed and all that stuff. And I was just like, I don't want to hear that right now, you know? So I didn't. When they showed up, I was in my room and, you know, they arrived. Some people texted. I was like, hey, welcome back. But in my head, I'm like, yeah, welcome back, but I'm not coming to see you. Not today, anyway. And I don't know. That's probably not very nice or very Christian of me. I don't know yet. But yeah, that's how I was feeling. So yeah, eventually one of our close friends came. He's like, hey, guys, come downstairs. Let's go chill. Let's go, you know, as we go do laundry, do all that. Let's just go chill. So we did. And it was actually very nice hearing some of the stories that happened. And I think it's because of the way it happened, because it was like a really good friend telling you, hey, this is what happened. Actually, two of them telling you, hey, this is how it went down, this is what happened, and all that. It felt really nice rather than hearing it from 1,000,001 people, you know, at the same time. And I really enjoyed it. Honestly, I was really happy, and I really enjoyed it. We're getting to the end of this whole fiasco, as I'll call it. So today is, what is today? Monday. Today's Monday? Yeah, today's Monday. Today's Monday, April 24th, and we had practice, the first practice with everybody again, last week, Thursday. And so they only came back last week. They literally came back a week ago. Wow. They came back last week, a week ago today, and we had practice last week, Thursday. And I remember in my heart, I was just like, you know, I don't really want to practice with choir anymore. I don't want to sing with choir anymore, not this semester anyway. I just want to be done with it. You know, if they're gonna sing, because we had a performance on Saturday, we have a performance this coming Saturday, and we have to practice for that. But in my head, I was just like, you know what, let them just sing. I don't want to sing. And we went for practice, and you know, we sat, we talked a little bit, and then he told us there was a specific song, How Great Thou Art. He told us to stand up and sing it, at least those who knew the song. And I remember when they played the song, and we started singing, I got very emotional because I was just like, wow, I was about to, I was running away from this because apparently I didn't want to sing just because, we faced a disappointment before and stuff like that. But, we sang and it felt great. It felt great, and I realized how much I'd actually missed singing with the choir. I had to be like, I really miss this. I definitely did. I just didn't want to deal with the emotions that come with missing people, missing a certain thing. And, in my head, I was just like, I'd rather avoid it rather than face those emotions. Anyway, the thing is, as I wrap up this video, because it is so long, I learned, and I'm still learning, that there are things that are out of our control, especially when it comes to ministry for God. The devil is gonna work so hard to try and discourage you, to put an end to your plans. And I mean, for me, it felt like that. It felt like he had just put an end to my plans. I will be honest, for like the first week and a half after these guys left, I struggled with prayer. I really did, because in my head I'm thinking, why didn't you just perform a miracle? I mean, you've done it before, you do it all the time. Why didn't you just perform a miracle for us to go? Like, it still doesn't make sense why we stayed behind. We don't know, although they did tell us that there was a bit of racism. And so, when you try finding a silver lining, they're like, maybe it was just a way of protection for you guys, and all that. But still, I'm just like, why couldn't we go? After all the work we've put in, after all that effort, why us? Why did we not go? I told my mom about it eventually, and she's like, people struggle with prayer. People struggle with their faith. But the important thing is that you get back up. You don't wallow in sadness, because she's like, it's okay, you can wallow in sadness for a day, but get back up, and that's what I'm trying. And it honestly, it feels great. I mean, I still get some kind of thing in my heart when I'm like, oh, I didn't go to Vietnam, but it's not bad anymore. It's like, okay, fine, those are battles. These are spiritual battles that are happening right now, and if us not going meant that people would be ministered to, that's okay. That's okay. It'll be hard to accept for sure, but that's okay. I'm learning to literally lean on God's word, because doing it by yourself is hard, and you are guaranteed to, at least for me, you're guaranteed to fail. So I am learning to lean on God's word, trust that he has my best interests at heart. Everyone was quoting that verse, for we know all things work together for good to those who love God. And in the beginning, I was like, I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me about this. I'm not seeing the good in this. God has a hand in everything that's going on. And I am learning to accept that. It's still, I'm not like solidly there, but I can say for sure that I have definitely grown in that, and I am hoping to know for sure why we didn't go. But even if I don't know, that's not gonna shake me, it's not gonna make me turn away from him. If you made it this far, you're a real one. I hope it serves as an encouragement to you. Even if things don't go your way, God has a hand in it. Just trust him, pray, and don't let him go. That is all. Thank you for being here. Snow says thank you as well. Hopefully after this we'll have a few more videos. We have a bunch of videos from beforehand, you guys know that. We might make them into like throwback Thursday videos for a bit until we get caught up. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. For those of you who are students and working and doing all these things, you know how life goes, you go with the flow, do the best you can. I hope you all have a great week whenever you're watching this. Have a great morning, great evening, great afternoon, good night, whenever you're watching this. I hope to see you all in our next video. Bye.